Selection Sunday, I had Twitter up along with many other people. And Charles Barkley came on the TNT set, and he already contributed to his fantastic college basketball knowledge by saying that the Big Ten is overrated. And Dustin, you filled up my timeline in the best way possible because I agreed with you 100%. In saying that basically it was ludicrous for him to say that. And I have no problem with Charles Barkley. I freaking love Charles Barkley, okay? I love his objectivity. I love how he basically does not give a damn anymore. Neither does Bill Walton, by the way, which is fantastic. But to say that the Big Ten is overrated is ludicrous, is absolute ludicrous. However, with the draws that the Big Ten has got, okay, can you see, obviously, you know, you've covered all these Big Ten teams throughout the year, every team that Indiana has played and beyond. Which teams do you think can make a legitimate run, and which ones do you think will be ousted in the first few rounds?
All the top five can make a legitimate run. I don't know. Right now, I would say the teams that have a Final Four shot, like, you know, Michigan, I think certainly has the talent. I don't think they're there right now. And VCU is really going to be a tough matchup for them.
Yeah.
You know, I think, you know, obviously just the way they play. I mean, and certainly VCU's got to be kind of gearing up at this point. Michigan just hasn't looked as good. I mean, I think in February, you know, when Indiana and Michigan played the first time, and those look like the two best teams in the country. You know, they've been on a downslope, and I think a lot of part of it is youth, just with, you know, Stauskas and Robinson, and they've been good but not great since the beginning of February. At that point, those guys were looking like you know, Big Ten Freshman of the Year contenders. They've fallen off a little bit. Playing a team like VCU is a tough, you know, that's a tough game for Berkman. I think he can maybe beat them up. You know, he's still going to score his points. He's not going to turn the ball over a whole heck of a lot. But you know, that's a long night. You know, when you play VCU, I mean, Jordan Hulls. I remember after the VCU game last year in the Sweet 16 or in the second round or third round, to get to the Sweet 16. I mean, he just looked exhausted because, I mean, he'd faced a double team off of every single ball screen. Those guys are long, and they're fast, and they're athletic.
And has the Big Ten ever seen pressure and a press like that, full court press after every made basket over and over and over? I mean, that's not a Big Ten game. That's not a Big Ten field.
No, it's not.
Have they ever seen any of those teams? Have they ever seen anything like that this past season?
VCU just comes at you in the same sense that Louisville does and that, you know, Latino teams usually do. I mean, it's just all the time. First you get through the press, and that's hard enough. But when it really drives you nuts is after you've already gone through that, after you've, you know, worked so hard to get through that, then they double team every ball screen. And especially if you've got a smaller point guard, and you're dealing with, I mean, it's a lot of times it's like 2 6'5" guys. I mean, VCU doesn't have, I'm trying to think their lineup, you know, right now. But I mean, like, remember last year they didn't have necessarily that 7-footer that hangs with your center, but they go like 6'3" to 6'9" across the board.
Yeah, they don't
and
have
a bunch of like long athletic wings.
Yeah.
And they just come at you, and so, you know, it's guys that are fast and guys that are long and guys that can just swallow you up. So that's a tough one for Michigan to get past. I mean, then you've got Kansas with a, you know, great center like Withy. I mean, Michigan's got a couple decent guys inside in McGarry and Morgan, but they don't have that great center that really, I mean, that's part of the reason why they weren't able to really stop Sellers. They don't have anybody that's just that good inside, and if you get foul trouble on those guys, you know, you can beat them up, and I think it's really going to be tough for them to come out of that region just for all of those things. You know, Ohio State, I think the West is a wide-open bracket. I think that's a team that can pull that off just because I think anybody can, you know, I wouldn't be surprised what happens out of the West bracket. I think Wisconsin or Ohio State can come out of there because I really don't know how that thing's going to break. I mean, I think Michigan State's got a really tough, you know, matchup. They could also end up with Duke in the Sweet 16. I think that's going to be a really tough one for them to win. I think they're capable. I mean, I would say, you know, if you ask me, most likely, I would say Indiana 1, Ohio State 2, Wisconsin 3, Michigan State 4, Michigan 5 would be where I would put that. After that, I don't think Illinois or Minnesota are in that realm right now. But that's how I would rank those top 5 teams in terms of who has Final Four capability.
Ohio State is on a fantastic run right now. The problem I see with Ohio State, excuse me, is that they just don't rebound well. If they're shooting well and DeAnthony Thomas is really going, then they'll be good and they'll be hard to beat. But aside from that, I mean, look, they're balanced, they have good size, they have good length, they play pretty good defense, but they don't rebound well. So, I mean, look, this is crazy of me to say, but I wouldn't be surprised if Iona went in and beat them. I would be surprised if they do get past Iona. I wouldn't be surprised if Ohio State beat Iowa State. But then another tough matchup that could give them trouble down the road is New Mexico. Can Ohio State make a run to the Final Four?
They can make a run. I mean, I think, you mentioned New Mexico. Certainly those guys are capable. They've got as good a resume as anybody out there. And obviously, I think they, they're one of those things. I think if you put together resumes, New Mexico next to Gonzaga or something like that, it'd be really interesting to see because, I mean, how much of Gonzaga is sort of perspective. New Mexico has obviously been, the steady, respected program for a long time, but it just seemed like it was finally Gonzaga's year to be a number one, and they obviously ran away with their conference, but their conference isn't as good as the Mountain West.
Yeah.
I think if people want to argue that New Mexico is every bit as good as Gonzaga, they certainly have a solid argument, a solid debate point to make. But they certainly are really good and have a really good record coming out of a league that is very good. I mean, for all Barkley saying that the Mountain West is better than the Big Ten, that's a reach, but the Mountain West is really, really good. And I think it's, Ohio State is not going to have an easy time with that matchup, certainly. And they would not have an easy matchup coming out of there. But, maybe, the thing Ohio State does, I think Ohio State's done well against teams in the Big Ten, is they make you look bad, basically. I mean, every team that they played some really talented teams, and they somehow made them all look bad, and it's mostly just because of defense. And it's, that starts with Aaron Kraft, who's as good of an on-ball defender as there is in the country. I mean, I think, I would have voted Victor Oladipo ahead of him for Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, but I think both of those should be on the national defensive, all-defensive team. Those guys are both that good. And Kraft just starts it and just, makes life really, really hard on your ball handler, and it just goes from there. And they've got guys that are just really good at reading game plans. When you've got, him and Scott on the floor at the same time, those are two really good defenders that get up in you and cause turnovers and get you to turn the ball over. And they score that way. I mean, they don't, their offense compared to, the teams that you mentioned, the Jared Solinger teams, it's not close. They defend well enough that they don't need a whole lot from everybody else. They can't afford to have a night where it's just Deshaun Thomas scoring, but if they get Kraft going, and he certainly had a good game against Indiana and Bloomington, if he gets going to start, hit some shots, get some runners to fall, and then you get anything out of somebody else. I mean, if Lenzel Smith has a big night or Sam Thompson has a big night, they can beat you because they only need like 65 points to get it done. Sure. They defend that well, they muck it up that much, and just get it to be a slow and sort of grinding game. Will that happen? I don't know, but I think they've got as good a chance as anybody. If they could win the Big Ten tournament, they could certainly win the West region.